Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. The creation is explained from cause and effect point of view. Cause is always established with reference to the effect. Whether there is electricity or not in the plug, you cannot know unless you see the effect. In the same manner, this world is recognized as effect, and it has got three components. One component is the knowledge, the second component is dynamism, the third component is the inert world. After having observed these, then we bring to our cognition what is the cause of this. So the cause of knowledge aspect in the creation is Tattvabodha. The cause of dynamism is Rajoguna, and the cause of the inertia is Tattvabodha. And then how from the Tattvabodha aspect of the Pancha Mahabhutas, the five Jnanendriyas, organs of perception, and the Antakaran, the inner controller, the inner instrument is created. Then we are seeing from the Rajoguna aspect of this Maya, Brahmashraya, the organs of action and the powerhouse, Pancha Prana, they are created. So behind the sense organs, there is mind, Antakaran Chatushtaya. Behind the organs of action, there is Pranamaya Kosha. Now the third aspect in the creation is the inert world, including our own body. So how this body is created? Now this is the topic which we will take now. Etesham panchatattvanam tamasamshat panchikruta panchatattvani bhavanti panchikaranam katham iti chet etesham panchabhutanam tamasamshaswarupam ekamekam bhutam dvidha vibhajya ekamartham pruthak srushtim vyavasthapya aparam artha chaturdha vibhajya स्वार्थम अन्येषु अर्धेषु स्वभाव चतुष्टय संयोजनम कार्यम तदा पंचीकरणम भवति एतेभ्यः पंचीकृत पंच महाभूतेभ्यः स्थूल शरीरम भवति. It appears it is very difficult. It is not. First, the tamasic aspect of these pancha mahabhutas, they alone undergo the grossification. The sattvic and rajasic aspect of the Pancha Mahabhutas, they do not undergo panchikara first, or the grossification. Now, because the gross world has to be created, there has to be the grossification of the material, the five great elements. Then the question comes, what is panchikara? And what exactly is achieved by this? These 2 points are required to be known. So what is said here in the Sanskrit statements, each of the Mahabhuta is divided as if into two. So imagine, these Mahabhutas, we give them a shape for our understanding. Mahabhutas do not have shape. Tattva is that which is formless. This is a fundamental rule. Tattva doesn't have a form. All metals that we study in metallurgy, nowhere it is mentioned what is the form or the shape of the gold, what is the form or shape of the water, what is the form or the shape of any metal. It is never mentioned because Tattva is that which is formless. But if we have to understand through the mind cannot function without forms. And therefore, for our imagination, we are giving this form That doesn't mean that the Pancha Mahabhutas have forms. Please understand this basic. Imagine we make like an egg shape 5 elements. So there are 5 eggs. The sky, the air, the fire, the water and the earth. Now we cut them off. So each is divided into 2. Upper half of all the 5 elements we don't touch. Now the lower halves of all the 5 elements are further divided into 4 parts. So what will be the each part of the further divided 4 parts? 1 by 8. Now what we do, this 1 by 8 of the 4 are joined with the half of the other 4 elements. So the 1 by 8 parts of the space are joined with the remaining 4 elements, namely the air, the fire, the water and the earth. Similarly, the 1/8 part of the air element, it is joined with the half of the space, the fire, the water and the earth. In this manner, there is an admixture of all the 5 elements, and therefore all of them have some aspect of the other element. Now, when we saw the sattva and rajas aspect of these Pancha Mahabhutas, they have not become grossified, and therefore eyes can see only the colors and forms. Ears can hear only the sounds because there is no grossification, and therefore their field of operation is limited. But if you see the gross objects of the world, every gross object of the world has got all the 5 qualities. You take for example a flower. Now this flower is made out of this Tattvabodha aspect of the Maya or the Prakriti. Now this object, which is gross, is having all the 5 aspects. It has got Shabda, when you crush it gives sound, Sparsha, it is soft, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, it has got some form and color, Rasa, if you taste it will have some taste, and Gandha, it will have some smell. So each gross object has all the 5 qualities, but the sense organs which are made out of the ungrossified sense elements, they do not have all the 5 qualities. Make this very clear. In this manner, this grossification of the Tattvabodha aspect of the Pancha Mahabhutas takes place. Okay, thereafter what happens? Etebhya panchikruta pancha mahabhutebhya sthula shariram bhavati. Then from these grossified 5 great elements, from this the gross body is created. The subtle body is not created out of the grossified 5 great elements. The subtle body is created out of the nascent, ungrossified 5 great elements. In this manner, the Panchikaranam bhavati. Now, after having completed this Panchikaranam, now what is the conclusion? Why we have studied this? So the conclusion is evam pinda brahmandayoho aikyam sambhutam. Brahmanda, the totality. So the totality is nothing but the 5 great elements, then the 5 sense organs, then the 5 organs of action, then the Pancha Pranas, then the Antakaran Chatushtaya, and the gross bodies. This is at the causal level. See? And this causal level existence is called as manifestation. In this manifestation, there is no individuality. See? Like when the mind is expressing through the eyes, the vision is a manifestation of the mind. The eyes do not have individuality. Get this point across clearly. The same mind expresses through the ears becomes the hearing ability. Now hearing ability does not have individuality. It is a phenomena. Now extend this in the same manner. Pure conscious existence expresses through the body as the mind. So this mind or the antakaran chaturthaya does not have individuality. It is just a phenomena. See? But where do we go wrong? We go wrong, this manifestation is recognized as individuality. Now why this is recognized? Because our attention is on the body. Bodies create individualities. Sense organs don't create individualities. See friends. And how our body is not individuality? See, this example I gave you in different contexts. Now this is a different context. When one Catholic girl was having lot of bleeding and her relation said, according to our religion, we cannot give you blood, you die. So I told her husband, you pray to the Lord and see whether my blood matches, I will give. And it became okay and I gave and she survived. So when I met her after about 15 days, I asked her, I said, hey, bottle is Catholic, the liquor is Hindu. See, the blood does not have individuality. Blood is a common factor. See friends, therefore life is not individuality. Life is called in Sanskrit Jivana. Individuality is called as Jiva. So Jivana, there is no Jiva. There is only life. And when this life departs, nothing happens. See friends, when this bulb which has got the light and this body which has got the life, both the places, light is the manifestation of electrical energy and life is the manifestation of conscious existence. So when one bulb becomes fused, where does the light go? In the same manner, when one body becomes fused, it is no more able to manifest the conscious existence as mind. Then the question comes, where will the jiva go? There, where the light has gone after the bulb has become fused. See friends, it is for this purpose these topics are given. It is not only information. ये भी पढ़ लिया, वो भी पढ़ लिया. ब्रह्म सूत्र लेफ्ट हैंड, बृहदारण्य का राइट हैंड, शंकराचार्य गाढ़ा. It is not for that purpose. Therefore, I give you 3 eyes: information, interaction, and implementation. If this implementation doesn't happen in life, we carry the load. You know, in Saraswati Bhagavati, somewhere I was talking, there it is said, if somebody has studied all the 4 Vedas and if he has not come to recognize his divine nature, he is like a Brahmana Gardhava. This is the word used. A donkey Brahmin carrying the road of the Vedas and no more experiencing the truth. See friends, therefore if we have studied Vedanta Shastra, we lose the following facilities. 1, the facility to become miserable. Second, the facility to complain. Third, the facility to die. You cannot die. मरने भी नहीं देते. See friends, therefore, Pinda and Brahmanda, individuality and totality, they are not separate. When the body dies, what exactly happens is the five elements go back to five elements. See? Our UP Bhaiyas in property must be the descendants of Brahmaji. Because they have learned how to make the veil from Brahmaji. First of all, out of the paper they make a shape, space, and then they add the four Mahabhutas. And after it is done, then Brahmaji pumps life and then living beings are thrown in this world. In the same manner, all our Vaiyas, they take the things and they dress. कहीं की ईट, कहीं का रोड़ा, भानुमति ने कुर्मा जोड़ा. These five great elements go into the formation of the body. When the body dies, the five great elements go back. Therefore, when a candle burns, nothing is lost. Matter cannot be destroyed and energy cannot be created. It is always equilibrium. See friends, where is the Jiva? When the Jiva disappears, where is the place for hell and heaven? See friends, therefore, Pinda Brahmandayoho Aikyam. There is no division between the seeming individuality and the totality. There is but one reality because of the conditioning appearing to be many. Like one man, because of the conditioning, he is called as the son, the husband and the father. In the same manner, because of the conditionings of the names and the forms, Paramatma is called as the world. Because of the conditioning of the Panchakoshas, Paramatma is called as the Jiva. Because of the conditioning of the Maya, Paramatma is called as the Ishvara. And when these conditions are deleted, what remains is unconditioned, uncreated, absolute being, what we are. See friends, if this knowledge will bring to our cognition this one simple thing, whenever we are disturbed, there is somebody, and that somebody is nothing but he is created. You know, our condition is like what? Like our mobile phones. Because there are many free software downloads, we keep on downloading. We never use, but we download free either. Like, one man was receiving, lota he used to catch, standing on the road, and from inside the things were coming. Passerby said, "Kya ho raha hai?" No, she is throwing the, thing that means I am catching, I am keeping. Afterwards I will take it inside. Why don't you give? Why do you receive? Because incoming free. Outgoing cost. So our phone, too many downloads, ultimately it becomes a hang-up. Now what is to be done? What is to be done? Then go to the settings. Go to menu, settings. Scroll down. There is one option. Revert back to factory settings. Click. One pop will come. All the data will be deleted exactly this is what we have to do in spiritual life. Delete all the unwanted data. I am mother, father, brother, sister, husband, wife, rich, poor, Hindu, Muslim, everything you delete it and go back to your factory settings. And when you go back to factory settings, start again. But next time, observe, you don't download a code. See friends, this is all spiritual life. Nothing else. In this manner, when our attention is no more on the world. Today I received one SMS from 20 people. Same SMS. Petrol prices hike 750 paisa per liter. Tattvabodha का जोक करो, ले लिया ना बदला सरदार जी ने. Same, you see, there's so many people say, they don't get involved in this world. This world has always been like this. We have to focus on something higher. We imagine this is the worst period of the history. It is always like that because wherever we are, it is the worst period. Can you imagine? See, when the Jews were taken to the gallows in the concentration camp, what must have been going in their minds? The same thing when we go to the petrol pump. It is the same, there is no difference. After some time, if you go to Puri, the same thing with reference to water. No water anywhere. The whole water is diverted to Lavasa. This has always been happening like this. First decide whether ours is the spiritual path or the material path. If it is material, nothing wrong. But then jump into it. Not only drawing room discussions heated, afterwards one ice cream cooled. No. See friends. Therefore, Pinda Brahmandayoho Aikyam. Let us revert back to our causal state. Be very attentive. And we all do that. When we are in deep sleep, what we do? We revert back to the causal state. In the deep sleep, we are nobody. Therefore, there is no desire. Therefore, there is no worry. In the deep sleep, there is no other. Therefore, there is no anger. There is no fear. Freedom from desire, anger, and fear is living in God. Our life is full of desires, full of anger. All these politicians, they should be killed. By this statement, what is spoiled? Our mind is spoiled. They are not burdened. Nothing happens to them. See friends, therefore, more and more we become subjective. And in that subjectivity, it becomes so intense that the objects disappear. And when the objects disappear, we as a subject also disappear. And that which is beyond the subject and the object, that alone remains. Na tat sat, na tat asat uchyate. It is beyond the existence and non-existence. Evam indam brahmandayoho aikyam. In this manner, the cause and effect has to be dissolved. Because what is the world? The world is nothing but a catch of cause and effect. All the intellectuals are miserable because they are caught up in the cause and effect. About everything, why this is so, why this is so. Drop that why and how. Get out of it. Then only the truth is revealed. See? Therefore, evam pindam brahmandayoho aikyam sambhutam. Now, next topic we will talk about what is the jiva and what is the Ishvara. Sthula sharira bhimani jiva namakam brahma pratibimbam bhavati sa eva jivaha prakrutya swasmat ishvaram bhinnatvena janati avidya upadhi san atma jiva uchyate maya upadhi san atma ishvara uchyate evam upadhi bheda jiva ishvara bheda drishtihi yavat paryantam tishtati tavat paryantam janma maranadi rupa samsaraha na nivartate tasmat karanat na jiveshwarayoho bheda buddhi svikarya. Now here, next very important topic. What is the jiva and what is the Ishvara, and are they two or they are one? So first, jiva. Sthula sharira abhimani jiva namakam brahma pratibimbam bhavati sa eva jiva. Now be very attentive, understand this clearly. Because just now I told you, jiva na, there is no jiva. There is only jivana, only life. Like bulbs may be many, light is the same. Like these 3-4 bulbs are shedding light on me. Can we differentiate which part of the light is from which bulb? Because principle of light is one. In the same manner, principle of life is one. It is the same. Seeing by the eyes, hearing by the ears, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, confusion, everything same. There is no difference in the expression of life. See? As much we have desire for hunger, that much there is a desire for hunger for a pig. As much we fulfill our desire and feel very good, immediately the biological onkar comes. Oh, badhiya khana ho gaya. Same thing happens when a pig eats his food. The satisfaction that a human being gets and the pig gets after eating their food is the same. No difference. If this is so, then what is the jiva? See? So, be very attentive. Can we talk about the reflection in the mirror without the mirror and our own face? We cannot talk. So when we are talking about the reflection, in that reflection we have to include these 3 factors. Our beautiful face, the mirror, where reflection is happening, and the reflection. Now see. These 3 things together is called as reflection. But normally what we understand, reflection means what we see in the mirror. No. Reflection cannot exist without our face and the reflecting media. In the same manner. See? In the mind, the consciousness reflects as the Chidabhasa. So 3 factors: consciousness, mind, and the reflection of consciousness in the mind. These 3 things together is called as jiva. Now, next thing. When this face is away from the mirror, can there be reflection of our face in the mirror? No. Now the question comes, where the reflection has gone? Experiment number 1, 2. Again we bring the mirror in front of our face. Again the reflection has come. This is R2. First was R1, now this is R2. Then again you remove the mirror and then here that R2 has gone. Then you again bring the mirror in front of you, R3. Now the question is R1 equal to R2 equal to R3 and equal to what? This is the question. Can we say R1 is equal to R2 is equal to R3? And then the question is, what is this reflection? It appears, it is not. Then what is the reality behind this reflection? The reality behind the reflection is our face. Exactly the same way. The Jiva is nothing but Paramatma expressing through the Panchakoshas. So Paramatma reflecting in the Panchakoshas, getting identified with them and starts claiming that I know, I do not know. See? In this point, I will give you 2-3 examples. Second example, in a bucket of water, when the sun falls, how the sun falls in the bucket? Through the reflection. And in that bucket, we see the reflected disk of the sun. Sun is having its original light. This reflected disk of the sun also throws a beam of light. What is the difference between these two lights? The sunlight is self-illuminating, and the light from the disk of the reflection in the waters is borrowed light. It is not its own. Therefore, take for the cosmic example, sun, whatever terrible hot it may be, when the same sunlight falls on the moon and gets reflected, moonlight is never hot. See, friends, in the same manner, the pure consciousness, the knowledge itself, the mind is reflected knowledge. It appears to be knowledge, but it is not. See, friends, and therefore, like the reflected light from the disk in the waters can illuminate one corner of a room. Will that reflected light from the disk of the sun be able to illuminate the original sun? In the same manner, this Jiva can never know the self. The ocean can become the wave. The wave can never become the ocean. Paramatma can manifest as the Jiva, but the Jiva never becomes Paramatma. And that is why a realized master doesn't have any claim of achievement. Achievement and failure is possible only in the relative world. In the absolute, there is no achievement possible and necessary. Infinite plus minus anything continues to be infinite. See, friends. Therefore, this Jiva, if we understand in this light, the Jiva is nothing but manifestation of Paramatma through the Panchakoshas. Like the light is nothing but the manifestation of electrical energy through the bulb. You must have done sometime in your life. Those days the bulb used to have the filament. You are studying, at night suddenly the bulb becomes fused. Then you can't go anywhere. What is to be done? then you take that table lamp and start moving like this in the dark only. Try this way, that way. And suddenly the element gets connected to the cathode and anode, and suddenly the light comes in the same manner. This jiva is just a manifestation. There is no place for individuality. But this pratibimba reflection starts getting identified with the body and the modifications of the body, and then the samsara begins. So what will be the spiritual practice now? Spiritual practice will be, number one, disidentification from the gross body. This is the spiritual practice. And whatever else we are doing, Kurute Ganga Sagar Gamanam Rata Paripalanam Athavadhanam Agre Vanni Krishte Bhanu Ratro Jubu Samarpita Janu Angam Garinam Paritam Mundam Dajanavīnam Jatam Kundam. Everything is only to bring to our cognition that body disidentification is the only spiritual practice. And we all do that. The beauty is we do it, but we don't know. When we sleep, exactly what we achieve is nothing but body disidentification. And when this body disidentification happens, even for a short period of time, how fresh we become? Because the load of body identification was unloaded, that's all. We don't gain anything from the world. On the contrary, see, therefore, this jiva is only a prakriya, a method of communicating and bringing to our cognition the absolute self that we are. We as human beings are expert in blaming the world for our miseries. See? What is democracy? Democracy is we have selected them. Now don't blame. See? The other day I was asking one of my friends, I said, hey, what happened to your daughter's marriage? Family, we are told that you find out. We are not going to find out for it. But why? Who will take the responsibility? When she finds out, she is responsible. तुमने ढूंढा था आपको. Don't bother. Otherwise, mommy, I never wanted to get married, but you forced me to marry. In the same manner, here the scripture knew that the people are expert in blaming the world. And then we go to the God, oh God, why did I get such a terrible mother-in-law? Can't you find someone better? Because I am miserable because of her. So what the God will tell? God will tell, go to some satsang. And then out of frustration we come to Prem. And after having come to Prem, then we are told you that it is because of your Mahapapa karma. Because you are from Maharashtra. There is no ordinary karma. Mahapapa karma. You have done terrible pap in your last life. And that papa is manifesting in the form of your mother. Now what I should do? Now is there. Don't worry. Now behave properly with her. Otherwise, in the next life, again she will be your mother. No, I don't want that. This is enough for this life. Therefore, behave properly with her. See the net result. Net result is we stop blaming the world and we start behaving properly. Such a person becomes naturally introvert. Now, our inquiry will not be about the world, but why the mother-in-law It is only the manufacturer's defect. You cannot change it. See? Then what is to be done? So when we have stopped living the world, when we started living properly in this world, then we become naturally self-oriented. Now we have no time to bother about the world. This world has always been like this. There is nothing new in this world. Hold on to this statement. Nothing is new in this world. Every time the same thing has happened. We are not meeting here for the first time. Millions of times we met earlier. See, Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavajarjana tanyaham veda sarvani natvam veda parantapam. Yeah, Arjun, you and me have taken millions of births. I know all of them, but you don't know. This has always been happening. There is not a single event in this world which is new. It is something like when Sardarji took a bet and he lost with his friend. He was so frustrated. Okay, raat ko dekhenge. And again at night he bet, again he lost. Why? Because he bet again on the replay. In the same manner. It's all replay. There is nothing new in this world. See? It is for this purpose we are told that in the last life bad karma, this life suffering, next life you continue to suffer. Means what? This embodied is someone other than the body. This is the purpose of talking about Jiva. Till such time, we take the body to be ourselves. Our whole spiritual practice is only figure-oriented, nothing beyond it. And how long do we want to live healthy? For what? Health cannot be the goal of life. One has to be healthy, no doubt about it. But health cannot be the goal of life. On the contrary, healthy people become terrorists. See? No unhealthy person is a terrorist. See? Some terrorist comes there, with a gun in the hand. No! He doesn't. He is healthy. On the contrary, if somebody is having problem, maybe you would not do it. No, I tell you. Now he is so single pointed. It will be now, but we won't take this one. See, whenever you become unhealthy, you become self-oriented. Discover knacks and techniques by which we can withdraw from the world and become self-oriented. It is for this purpose that the topic of Jiva is brought up. Don't deny it. You must have seen also various stories and this, the astral body, the astral body comes out and then the fellow is lying down on the back, Shavasana, and then the astral body comes out and is parallel to him. And there is a connection, Bluetooth connection, from the umbilicus to that umbilicus. So the actual reality versus virtual reality connected with the Bluetooth. And then he goes through the fire and the water and various kinds of planets and everything, and then he gets frustrated and comes back. And then he gets up from it. In today's meditation, I have gone to Varun. Why? There are no water in the house. So for taking bath, I went to Varun. Get carried away by this. Mind can imagine anything. Anything the mind can imagine. The heaven imagined by in the Islam is what? There is greenery everywhere, there is plenty of waters and fragrance and beautiful girls. Because where they are originally all desert and no water, no greenery. If a Keralite has to imagine about the heaven, he can never imagine. For a Keralite, the heaven will be, there are mountains with the snow all around. If a buffalo has to imagine God, how the buffalo will imagine God? The God is white color buffalo, not black. And she doesn't have terrible horn, she has got stylish horns. And she doesn't give milk, she gives directly coffee. No. Mind can play any havoc. Remember one simple principle. Any experience which begins in time and ends in time is a play of mind. Any experience, including vision of God. See, when we have acted or reacted intensely in this world, the same thing we see in the dream. In the same manner, when the devotee is all the time, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, it goes so deep in his system that in the dream he sees Bhagavan Krishna coming, but this time he came with a tennis racket and a gym. I don't know why. See? Bhagavan Krishna also got corrupted because of the dream. It will happen. But simple rule is that which begins in time, ends in time, is a play of mind. So what is that which never began in time, never ends, is our own presence. We never have the experience of beginning. We never have the experience of modifications. We never have the experience of our death or end. And therefore, we can never experience absence. Even the absence is recognized as present. This eternal presence, which is not opposed to absence, is the truth. It is for this purpose, this topic of Jiva is brought in the scriptures. So, Sthula Sharira Bhimani Jivanamatam Brahma Pratibimbam Bhavati Saeva Jivaha Prakrutya Swasmat Ishvaram Innatve Janati. Now this Jiva, who is now identified with the body, instead of recognizing as the manifestation, he is imagining and the individuality. If there is an individuality, there has to be a totality. So, he starts imagining Ishvara is other than me. Now, who will be the Ishvara for the Jiva? So, I am Alpagya, not knowing everything. Ishvara is Sarvagya, omniscient, knows everything. I am Alpashaktiman. Ishvara will be Sarvashaktiman. I am limited in this body. Paramatma is everywhere. So all the understanding of Ishvara is with reference to the Jiva Bhava. And then we become victim of our own creation. See, friends. In Mundokopanishad a mantra comes. Dva suparna saivya sakaya samanam vruksham parishashvajate tayoho anya pitpalam swadumati anashnan anyaha abhichakashi. On a tree called as the body. For body is that Ashwatha Ruksha, Urdhva Mudha Manashchakam Ashwatam Prahuravayam. Is it not moolam? The root is above. We eat from above. And other shakam we start growing below. Plants eat from below, start growing upward. Animals eat from the front, start growing backwards. Human beings eat from above, start growing downwards. If you take this sequence, eating from below, growing upwards, eating from the front, growing backwards, eating from above, growing downwards, what will be the next? Eating from backward, growing forward. So we have evolved the ultimate evolution as a human being. Now in this human form, on the branch of the heart, there are two words. Dva Suparna Sarija Sakhaya. They are always together. Like what? Like the Bimba and the Pratibimba. Like the original face and the reflection. They are always together. See? Now, this Pratibimba, Pippalam Swadumati, is influenced by the fruits of that tree. If that mirror is corrugated, the reflection appears to be very ugly. But the original face remains as it is. In the same manner, whenever anything is done and we claim, I have done, therefore the karma phala will come to you. So, karma phala of this body, they are being enjoyed by the Jivatma and the Paramatma. Anashnan anyaha abhijakashiti. He doesn't have the doership associated in anything, and therefore neither is associated with the sin nor the merit. Therefore, abhijakashiti, living in his own glory. So what is all the spiritual practice now? Whenever actions are associated with doership, Jiva is functioning. Whenever actions are happening without doership, Ishvara is functioning. So we are both simultaneously Ishvara as well as Jiva. Therefore, all the spiritual practices come to recognize that the culprit is this Tattvabodha. I have done this, I have done that thing, and then become miserable throughout life. See, friends, take this example which I gave a number of times. Love. A boy and a girl, they love each other because they have fallen in love. So in case of the boy and the girl, love is an action. प्यार किया तो डरना क्या? क्यों नहीं डरना? रोना ही. Now the same love between the mother and the daughter, that love is not done. That love is. See the basic difference. And therefore, there is no sin or merit in that action where there is no doership. And wherever there is doership, there is either sin or merit. We have to transcend both, the sin and the merit. Because there cannot be only merit, there cannot be only sin. There cannot be only health, there cannot be only disease. They always exist together. Because this is the fabric of the world. There is no option given. In this manner, Ishvara is recognized as someone other than me because I have taken Jiva as an individuality, and then the doership is associated. And thereafter, throughout our life, only living a life of desire fulfillment, and nothing else. And yet, we never learn from our own experiences that how many desires we have fulfilled But have we discovered fulfillment in life? That we never think. See, friends, living in this awareness is called as living spiritual life according to Vedanta Shastra. We are not giving a mala in your hand and other makeup. No. Only analyze your own experiences, learn from them, and grow wise. For this, one simple technique. Take every experience of your life as a spiritual examination. How simple? Every experience. Like in the examination we are given so many questions. There are options, but in the spiritual examination there are no options. Every question, every event, every experience is an examination. And when we just start living our life in this awareness, then you will see from every interaction we will learn. And when we learn, then only we grow wise. And who is the wise person? Wise person is he who is able to discriminate, who is functioning at a given period of time. If I become miserable, immediately the discrimination switch is activated. And then we come to know, oh, it is the husband who is miserable. After that is done, immediately don't worry, husband, keep cool. Yeah, ऐसा ही होता है. There is no species called as a happy husband, okay? You are not the only miserable husband. Every husband is like that. Is it? Yes. Thank God. I am not told you. No, you are not told you. Relax. The day this happens, you see, in a fraction of moment, you are living in meditation. Meditation is not a struggle. Go on biting your teeth. Oh, nothing is happening. Nothing will happen. Because I is there. Wherever there are efforts, I is there. So this jiva, swasmat ishvaram bhinnatveena janati. And when we recognize anything as other than the self, three things happen. One, desire. Second, anger. And third, fear. That experience where desire, anger and fear do not exist is called as God realization. Our life is 24/7. Desire, fear and anger. Anger for what? Pata nahi, why I am not able to do meditation. And some people phone you. Swami, this is too much. I don't know who is talking. I said, okay, if it is too much, put down the phone. Oh, what else can I do? Okay? It's only because we are reacting. Therefore, I have been telling you, don't do meditation. Don't do spiritual sadhana. Start living in utter awareness. Things will start happening. What we have done to increase our age, it will automatically increase. We don't have to do anything. In the same manner, the moment we stop doing Tattvabodha Viman, given up, Ishvara and Jiva, difference will disappear. Now who is Ishvara? Ishvara is the controller. If we live our life in self-control, our sense organs are under control, our organs of action are under control, our mind is under absolute control, then Paramatma is expressing through us. And such great masters, when they say casually something, it happens. Because the Ishwarya is invoked. See friends, Mahatma and Jivatma The difference is only this. In case of the Jivatma, the iPod expresses. iPod, iPad, I. And in case of the Mahatma, the capital I expresses. It's a question of the dot-com problem. The small I has a dot. The capital I has no dot. Let him express through us. See, friends, therefore this information is meant for this. Let us decide who is expressing through us. Is it the Jiva or the Paramatma? Are we living as body or are we living through the body? When we are living as body, we are Jivatma. When we are living through the body, we are Paramatma. What more simpler it could be than this? See, when I am functioning through the glasses, I am not the glasses. So when the glasses break, nothing happens to me. Similarly, I am functioning through the eyes. When the eyes become blind, nothing happens to the mind. And when the mind dissociates itself with the body as in deep sleep, nothing happens to me. I continue to exist independent of the body identification. This eternal, undeniable presence is our essential nature. But this Jiva is so much preoccupied with his conditionings, and therefore many people have this complaint. Swamiji, what is there for you to say? Body disidentification, get men and show body disidentification. That means marriage is a license to be miserable. That has to continue. So, who is the Jiva? Avidya upadhisan atma jiva uchate. The same Paramatma Tattva, under the influence of this incomplete knowledge about oneself, is called as the Jiva, and Mayopadhisan Ishvara iti uchate. And the same Paramatma, when he is keeping the Maya under his total control, he is called as Ishvara. Now, here is the real spiritual practice begins. In the Tattvabodha Mahavakya this topic is brought. In this Tattvabodha Mahavakya there are three words, Tat, Tvam, Asi. And the technical words are Tvam Pada Shodhanam, Tat Pada Shodhanam, and Tattvabodha. These are technical words. Tvam means you. Tat means Paramatma. Asi means are. You are Paramatma. Oh, you are too much knowledge. How can I be Paramatma? I am miserable. Listen. It's not like that. Now find out Tvam Pada Shodhanam. Shodhanam means purification. Purify yourself. What is the impurity? Impurity is body identification. Impurity is prana identification. Impurity is the mind identification. Impurity is the jiva bhava. The start discarding. Na tvam bhon indriyani, na prano na mano na dhi, vikaritvat vinashitvat, drishyatvat cha gato yatha. Like a pot which is seen, which is subject to modification and destruction, cannot be, you cannot be that pot. Is it not all these three qualities, object of knowledge, modification and destruction, also applied to all the Panchakoshas? How can you be that? Work on it. And when we start working on it, then our attachment to the people, our possession in this gross world, they will lose their impact on us. The Tvam Pada Shodhanam, purification of ourselves, means these two loads. One, that of possessions, and second, that of the relations. will no more bother us. See? Because if we want to talk about ourselves, what do we talk? Only the possessions and relations. And both these possessions and relations are only valid when we are identified with the body. When we are not identified with the body, no possessions and no relations. See, friends, this is called a Tattvabodha Shodhanam, purification of yourself. Then Tattvabodha Shodhanam, Ishvara, God, Paramatma, Bhagavan. Shodhanam, now searching, inquiry. Don't purify Bhagavan, he is already pure. So how do we do that? Here the path of devotion is inaugurated. Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, Daivi Hesha Gudamayi, Mama Maya Duratyaya, Mam Eva Ye Prapadyante, Mayam Etam Tarantite. The path of devotion is surrender to the divine will. There is no other way out. And in this manner, when we surrender to the divine will, we disappear. In our disappearance, Paramatma manifests. See, friends. And then we come to know there is neither Jiva nor Ishvara. There is but one Paramatma who was playing the game of life. And in that game of life, he became Jiva, he became Jagat, he became Ishvara. Like the One Day International 2020. One is the batting team, other is the fielding team, and third is the umpire. It is always the batsman who is out, never the bowler or the other players. So Jiva is a batsman. The world is constantly sending googly, and Ishvara is indifferent. If you hit 6, he is not appreciating. Only taking 6. See? And you have come up to 96. Only 4 runs remaining to get the century. And you are to be declared LPW. You know LPW? Lungi before video. So you are to declare. He, without any hesitation, अरे यार एक 4 रन होने दो तुम. नमे द्वेषोस्ति न प्रिया. Therefore, friends, out of these 3 entities, Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara, sadhana is done by the Jiva. Runs are collected by the batsman, not by the fielder or the umpire. So the sadhana is neither done by the Jagat nor by the Ishvara. It is the batsman who have to score hard. And when out of these 3, one goes away. Who goes away? Suppose the batting team has given over. We accept our defeat. Will there be other team on the ground? Can't be. And when both the teams have gone, what will be the umpire do? He will also go. The day the Jiva disappears, the Jagat and the Ishvara, they also disappear. And what remains is only Paramatma, Ekameva Dvitiya, Nehananasti. With this experience, thereafter, all the Jivan Mukta Purushas live in this world like Yogarato va, Bhogarato va, Sangarato va, Sangavihina, Yasya Brahmani Ramate Chittam, Nandati Nandati, Anandati eva. Their life is full of joy and happiness. They become the source of inspiration, motivation for others. Their very presence changes everything because they are no more living as body, they are no more living as Jiva. But through them, it is Paramatma that is expressing. So who is the Mahatma and who is the Jivatma? When Paramatma is allowed to express as Paramatma, then he is called as Mahatma. When Paramatma is compelled to express as a miserable entity, he is called a Jivatma. So the choice is our, whom do we allow to express? Jivatma or Paramatma? Whether we live as a man or as a husband. If we live as a husband, Jivatma. If we live as a man, then Paramatma. See friends, come to recognize this and be happy. Therefore, avidya upadhi san atma jiva uchyate, maya upadhi san ishvara uchyate. Evam upadhi bhedat जीवेश्वरं भेद दृष्टि यावत् पर्यन्तं तिष्ठति तावत् पर्यन्तं जन्म मरणादि रूप संसारो न निवर्तते. But in such time, the duality, Ishvara and the Jiva, the controller and the controlled, the creator and the created, the omniscient and the ignorant, till this Veda is recognized as valid, samsara will never end. Discover your own divine nature. It is so important. One small example I will give you. There was one mother-in-law and she was terrible. And her daughter-in-law looked after that mother-in-law not for a day or two, more than 40 years. And yet, this mother-in-law was never happy. She would throw the plate like that. And last 6 months or 1 year, he was bedridden. And only with a teaspoon the nurse will give. She will not take anything from the daughter-in-law. How much hatred she was behaving. And yet the daughter-in-law sincerely serving. And she died, the mother-in-law. Then the daughter-in-law came and asked me this question. Swami, you know my mother-in-law? What happened? She died. I said, congratulations. No, my question is, she died on Ashadhi Ekadashi. See, Vaishnava says, those who leave the body on Ashadhi Ekadashi, they go to Vaikuntha. She was such a monster. She has never gone to temple. She has never taken Lord's name. She was a problem to everyone. How come she died on Ashadhi Ekadashi? I said, okay, listen. Did she know that today is Ekadashi and I am dying? No. She is not very pretty. Happy? Really? I said, yes. Because, gain is always through knowledge. If you do not know, it doesn't exist. See? Somewhere today or yesterday, when they put a garment, and after some time, there was one caterpillar, and the caterpillar was walking all over, and I didn't know. But when it came on my hand and I saw, then only I knew. So every gain is only through knowledge. If it is not known, it doesn't exist for me. In the same manner, dying on Ashadhi Ekadashi leads me to the heaven will happen only at the time of death. You remember, today is Ashadhi Ekadashi. See friends, therefore bring to your cognition this absolute awareness. We have to live in this awareness. Then only the truth is revealed, or else we continue to suffer in this world with all difficulties and complaints. Tasmat karanat na jiveshwar bheda durbuddhi svikarya. Therefore, one should not accept the difference between Ishvara and the Jiva. Ishvara is not somewhere above the clouds. I have recently come from some other country, I was above the clouds. Searching everywhere, nowhere. Is in our own heart. And who is that Ishvara? We are no more the slaves of our mind, our intellect, our sense organs and our organs of action. Be the master and not the slave. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya